Guys, this is Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm here today at Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida. Maliki has given us the 2022 K5 LXS in the crystal burgundy. The sporty mid-size sedan has definitely made some noise. The GT outperforms the BMW 330i on acceleration and overall handling. The GT line and the LSX keeps that styling element, and you're going to get the tech. You're going to get the safety, everyday use, sophisticated, straightforward, new badging, new nameplate to keep consistent with its global brand identity. We're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Kia K5 name change is not only a game changer, but it matches the Kia K7, which is known as the Cadenza. You got the new Kia badging, the mesh grille, and I like that the hood encloses over your LED headlamp assembly with the aerodynamic hood structure with a width stance that flares out to 73.2 inches, a height of 56.9 inches. I like how the side cuts down through here and goes into your functional side curtains. You got a lip spoiler here and a splitter with a 5.3 ground clearance, which is great because you can go over your speed bumps, go get your groceries, anything, and you still have the sport design front bumper. And when you look at it through a rear view perspective, you're going to see that performance styling. And even when you get past with this Kia, the signature lights over your 16-inch 5-spoke aluminum alloy wheels, the front disc reading at 12 inches. The rear is going to be 11.2 inches. You're going to have a multi-link rear suspension, McPherson strut front suspension. Both the front and the rear will have your coil springs. Four-wheel independent suspension is set even on the standard. Your length at 193.1 inches and a wheelbase at 112.2 inches. You're going to get the chrome over the top, and it's just going to outline the structure kind of like a painting. And I like the fact that they do that because this gives a signature look, and it does wrap around the rear as well, starting on the front door panel. I like the fact that you're getting the same color mirror caps and it's black underneath. You do have the proportion line structures that just flare out. And I also like the fact that they're giving you a little bit of a sport taste on the rear bumper because you get the side vents that are outlined with the high gloss black polish. The chrome that surrounds the lower part of the window with the high gloss over there pushing out a spoiler lip, which really does set a performance style. I like the light bar and the new Kia logo. Even though it doesn't have the badging for the GT, it still has that sport bumper with the double hump that just gives a nice flare, and you'll still get that aggressive diffuser in the center. So if you do not know the line and you didn't see the GT badging, you might get confused and think that this is it. You get your reverse parking sensors, reverse camera, going inside to your cargo, just push button to open, and it'll get into 16 cubic feet of storage. Storage underneath the floor with a spare tire. The rear bench split folds at a 60-40 split. The Kia K5 packs performance with a 1.6-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder producing 180 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. That's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. A 0 to 60 is going to be in the 7 seconds, give or take, and you're also going to be getting 27 to 37 mpg. So the family sedan is definitely going to be good with the gas consumption going against your Honda Accord, your Toyota Camry. If you need more wheel spinning performance, get the GT or the GT line, so that way you can get that 0 to 60 in the low 5 seconds, or even better than a BMW 330i. Is this Kia K5 what you need for a practical use and everyday fun drive, and you're still going to get that performance exterior look? Does this compete a little bit higher than just with the Toyota or the Honda, maybe touch with the Germans and have some luxury inside? Let me know what you think in the comments about the 2022 Kia K5 LXS. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside this K5, You're going to be receiving 40.2 inches of headroom, 46.1 inches of legroom, bucket front seats. It's going to be cloth, manual seat adjustments for the front. This is an 8-inch infotainment. It's touchscreen with your Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, HD radio. They do offer a 10.25 split screen with navigation and voice control. Dual climate control settings you will be getting, so that is awesome. 2 USB ports and a 12-volt area here that you could put a cell phone, a larger one, so it's pretty good. It's more driver focused, so you have the little area that pretty much makes it all for the driver. So I do like the fact that I feel a little bit more sporty and hip. The dashboard, it's a bi-level dashboard. I like that it has the metal look and the texture and also the air vents. I think they did a really good job just sculpting the way it looks in the interior. As for the steering wheel, you're going to get it multi-function with the Kia badging. For the gauge cluster, you have a TFT display that'll go through an array of information for the driver. I do like the fact that they got the high gloss over everything on the top. It really does feel more sport derived than it is. For the elbows, soft on both sides. Cup holders, you can easily fit a 20-ounce water bottle, 16.9-ounce water bottle. Got your driving mode. If you're a YouTuber, you'll also like it because you can fit your camcorder right here, opening up inside to even more storage. So I do like the functionality and that it's a practical use car, especially if you are comparing this against the Camry or the Accord. Door panel, I like what they've done. You got that metal look and you got the texture as well. It just feels really retro even on the speaker. Storage, you can easily fit about 2 to 3 16.9-ounce water bottles, so it is comparable to the brands that it's going against. Let's check out the back seats. For the back seat, I'm at 37.8 inches of headroom, 35.2 inches of legroom, and I got the seat in the position I'd be sitting. It feels like I am miles away from the front, so I do like that. It actually feels like it's stretched in the sense of how long it is. You do have 2 storage behind both of the front seats and 2 USB ports. The floor is not completely flat. It's going to be soft more or less on this side because of the cloth. It's going to be a little bit soft on the door panel. You do have some storage that you can fit maybe 1 to 2 16.9-ounce water bottles, and it's the same thing here. You can fit maybe a 20-ounce water bottle if need be. I do like the fact that you just kind of sit back. You don't sit at a 90-degree angle. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headspace, no problem. Leg space, I'm grazing the back of the passenger seat. I moved it and reclined it a little bit further than I would sit. But if it was sitting in a position that I'd be sitting, absolutely no problem. I'm going to be grazing shoulders and leg space, but you do sit a little bit more down because it's cloth. And, you know, you are kind of blocking some of the air, but realistically, the air circulates really well for the back seats. And as for everyday use or a family car, this is definitely comparable to the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord because you have storage, you have the air circulation, you have your charging ports, cup holders is efficient, so it does have enough room and amenities for a family. Taking the K5 out, formerly known as the Sonata, turbocharged 1.6 liter, 4-cylinder, and 180 horsepower. Is it going to be sufficient for a day-to-day use? Comparing it to your Toyota Camry or your Honda Accord, I think it will be. I'm going to see how well it is. I'm going to give it a little bit of gas, and right off the bat it goes a lot quicker than I was anticipating right off the line. So the vehicle is tuned really well in the sense to get you where you need to be. So I do like that. It actually feels a lot more sporty than people probably will say it is if they're just looking at it as a review perspective. So this vehicle will actually change your mindset, even though this is the lower tier trim. Most people will go to the GT line or the GT. This one actually is pretty sufficient for everyday use. Visibility, you can see through everything. You're not going to get some of the safety features like when you turn your indicator on and it'll show you in the gauge cluster. But you know, for a practical use and something that you're just trying to get your feet wet with the Kia line, I think you can't really go wrong with this particular line because it does hit and check all the boxes. Braking in the car does a good job with it as well. And I mean, performance driven, it is kind of shocking that when you push the throttle, it really does go at a pretty good note. I'm gonna check that turn radius at a stop point more or less. 2 lanes, give or take, giving it some gas. This is in sport mode, guys. Engine gets a little bit noisy, but it goes really good. Now, if you want to change it into your normal mode or to a smart mode, it's going to be a little bit less potent, but you know, it gets you to where you need to be, and that's exactly what you're looking for a family sedan. As for ride and the dynamics, the ride quality, I think the suspension is really good. Independent rear suspension too, so that actually gives you a little bit more dynamic, so you could kind of be a little bit more playful with the car. As for comfort, it really does just glide over everything. I'm not a big fan of cloth seats. I prefer leather, or a leather red at least, but it's a comfortable sit. And the fact that it's not power adjustments, I can kind of also say it's all right with this one, because the way you sit, it is pretty comfortable. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this K5. So the 3 things that I like about the vehicle is it's a practical, everyday use. You get great gas consumption. I know that's 2 things. We're gonna list it as 1. The second thing that I like about it is very easy to see everything, and it is a sport dynamic setup. Again, 2 things, we're listing as a 1. The third thing that I like is the fact that you can push the gas. It's a small engine, and you know what? It livens up and actually kicks you back, which is insane for the size of this engine. To show you what I mean, this is smart mode, pushing it all the way down, and it sets you back pretty good. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle. When you get into the K5, even though this is more of a base trim, you're still paying near $30,000, and you're not getting power adjustable driver's seat at least. That's something that you should minimal get. The second thing that I dislike is the fact that there's going to be a lot more harder materials in the cabin because of the trim. So you really have to spend more than $30,000 in order for it to be soft touch everywhere. The last thing that I dislike, it's almost 200 pound-feet of torque. Why not give it 250? Because the performance in this engine, it really is shocking, especially when you put it into a sport mode. It livens up that 8-speed automatic transmission. You push the throttle and it does set you back. So I do like the fact that you have that. I just wish they gave it a little bit more horsepower, but I do get it, because if they did, it would be pushing you more into the GT line. So it does make sense. As for an everyday use or a comparison now, I would definitely say that this is going to be more sporty than the Toyota Camry, unless you get a TRD, and then your price point is going to be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 more. As for the Honda Accord, I like the Honda Accord, but I'm more so keen on the Civic. I think they did a great job the way they redid everything. The Accord, I feel, just has grown up a little bit too much, and it takes away some of the sport heritage. So this vehicle will have more of a sport feel and texture to it, especially the way it encloses you, making it more driver-focused vehicle. And the fact that, like, I could just push the gas like that and it just goes. And I like the fact that even though the vehicle was literally like 3 cars behind me, it still sensed it on the blind spot monitoring to tell me there's a car coming up. And just to show you what I mean, we're gonna stop here in the middle of the road, put it in sport mode, put it over, put it into first gear, give it full gas, and look at this thing go. Wow, it really does rock and roll. It is a fun little car, and it puts a smile on your face even on a base trim, which is awesome, because that shows you how exciting and how you can get a vehicle and not go all out and still get performance and some luxury amenities. We're going to take this back to Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida, go over the reverse camera and wrap this review up. Switching to reverse, you do have trajectory. It's a clean screen. You can also click here, so that way you can see your toe if you're doing any bicycling or anything like that. So it does make it easier for you for your reversing. I'd like to thank Maliki here at Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida for giving us this 2022 Kia K5 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button. Check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.